everyone, I'm the Peculiar Pisces and welcome to my channel. Today is Wednesday, January 21st, 2026, and this is Flosstube video number, oh no, what number am I on? I am on number 71. I should have remembered that. Anyway, welcome to Flosstube video number 71. This is my weekly update where I talk about all of the cross-stitch projects that I've been working on for the week. And for this month, I've just been working on the same 4 projects. And I hit a really big milestone this week. And I'm really excited. So without further ado, let's kick right off into it. I don't have any stitchy mail. I didn't purchase anything. No, I'm not waiting on anything. No. So I don't have anything to show for haul or anything like that. So I'll just kick right off into it. Project number 1 for me. So if you're new to my channel, a lot of my projects are geared around entering them into the county and the state fair. On my wall, I've got these 2 that are previous fair entries that, have won the Big Flowers won first place and best in show in the state fair. I missed entering it into the county fair, so I only entered it in the state fair that year. And then the following year, I entered my Teresa Wentzler, which got first place in the county fair and then second place in the state fair. So a lot of my projects are geared towards entering them into the fair. My fairs typically separate the categories by the thread count of the cloth that you're using. So for like one category, it will be 14 count to 18 count. And then another category will be, I think it's like 22 and up. So I do sort of stagger my fabric counts so that if I finish 2 projects in a year, I would be able to enter them both into the fair. But so far, that has not happened. My first year of doing Flosstube for 2024, I had such high hopes of getting like 4 projects done and submitted into the fair like within 6 months, and that totally didn't happen. I only finished 1 of those projects that year, and then I finished 2 of those projects in 2025. So 2025 was my year of big starts, and so I'm sort of hoping that 2026 is my year of finishes. So kicking off into it, project number 1 is a favorite designer project, and this one is definitely geared towards entering it into my fairs. Again, it's based on fabric count. So for the month of January, my fabric count is 18 count. And then in February, when I switch projects, that fabric is a 28 count. So I'm pretty much sort of flip-flopping between those counts. Sort of. So anyway, my first project, favorite designer, is Bella Filipina, and it's Daughters of Estuary. And the only things that I'm missing for this project is the Karen water lilies. What I bought is not the right Karen water lilies. It's the right color, it's just not the right thread. I apparently didn't buy the silk thread. I bought, I don't know, I think it's wool. It's 3 count and it's 3 ply, and it's just not what it was supposed to be. So anyway, this is what I'm working on. The top half is finished with the stitching, and I'm just working on bringing them down. I did a little bit of beading just because I needed to see beads on fabric, but I have not done much of the beading. I'm waiting until all of the stitching is done, and then I will do the back stitch and the beading at the same time, because that logically makes more sense to me. So the 11 by 17 Q snap that I got from 123 Stitch is what I put this on, and I do like this much better. It's a lot better to work with than the hoop, and I can see a lot more of what's going on. So here is just where I am, my progress. I was working in this fin, I was working in this orangey thing, and just bringing it down. I'm working on this coral colored mermaid to get her completely finished. Well, to get the stitching finished before I jump over to this more blue-green mermaid. So yeah, there has been my progress. So I did say that this was 18 count. So this is from Volcano Stitching. The fabric is called Poseidon, and this is 18 count Opal Aida. And for the most part, there's not a lot of half stitches, but there are some, well, I shouldn't say half stitches. I should say half and 3/4 stitches. And I've just been piercing the Aida. I don't like, that was how I first learned how to do those stitches, was to pierce the Aida. And so like, I really don't mind that. But overall, there's not a lot of those stitches that I need to pierce the Aida. There have been a few, but not a lot. Most of them were like in the areas of like the arms. Okay, so I worked on this. So for the week of 1/12 through 1/18, I got to work on this 3 hours, 53 minutes, and 16 seconds. And it's brought my total project time to 116 hours, 7 minutes, and 33 seconds. And then for this week of 1/19 through 1/25, I've only gotten to work on it on Monday or Tuesday. So I haven't got to put a lot of progress in that one, but this isn't the project that I've put a lot of effort into. Not yet. I had a clear goal for one of my projects, and I really was trying hard to hit that goal. Okay, so project 2 is the Dutch Beauty Sampler. I don't know how well you can see that. I feel like there's a big glare from my window. I don't usually film quite this early. It's not yet 9 o'clock. So I don't know. I feel like it's a big glare. Anyway, I am working in this middle section right in through here. It's page D. And here is my progress. So I finished this angel. Some of the shoe went over into page E, but I still did it. I worked on these letters here, which also sort of went over into the next page. I brought this down. I don't think I think this side was stitched down to here, so I brought this down, and then I worked on this motif in here in the center. And I worked a little bit on this part, and then I sort of jumped over here and started. It's the same thing that this one is over here. So this is 14 count Aida that I hand dyed myself in a Come Dye With Me video. And then this one for the week of January 12th through the 18th, I got to work on this 3 hours, 6 minutes, and 47 seconds. And it's brought my total time for the project up to 68 hours, 5 minutes, and 17 seconds. And I did scan this pattern and brought it into Pattern Keeper. And so I am working on it in Pattern Keeper, but like I don't have all the stats because of how it was brought into Pattern Keeper. But I do know that last week, I put in 633 stitches on it total. And I can tell you that I am now at 13,075 stitches on the project. And then I got to work on this on Tuesday. All right, so project 3 is, oh my goodness, I'm getting all these updates right now. Project 3 is Tilton Crafts Winter in the Shire. This is the one that I'm working on by color completion. And this is the one that I hit the major milestone on. I was so excited. So for this one, you all know that like I have complained about this project ever since I started it. And it's because I've been stitching white thread 3865 on white fabric because I'm using the 25 count easy grid fabric. White on white is not great for me. I apparently complain about that to no end. But on Monday of this week, on the 19th, I finished. I finished all of 3865. So yes, I had a major milestone. Okay, this way is up. Not that you can see. So this is the scroll frame that I got from Michael's the other week when I posted about this. I had two $10 vouchers from some shopping, and so I purchased this with I think it was a 25% discount off of one full price item plus my 2 vouchers. I only paid like $5 and change for this frame. I put this on it. I'm just going to leave this piece on this frame. I'm not going to be taking this on and off. The other pieces for this category are much bigger than this. So I'm going to leave this on its frame. But can you see my progress? Because it's white. It's white on white. I don't think you can see it. Anyway, I finished, and not that you can tell, but I have 3 stitches down here in the next color, which was, I think it's 768. But yes, I finished 3865. Okay, so let's get these actual stats. All right. For the week of January 12th through the 18th, I put in 7 hours, 31 minutes, and 5 seconds. And it's brought my total time on the project to 74 hours, 36 minutes, and 30 seconds. So, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I got to work on it, all through the week. And then I didn't work on it Saturday, but Sunday, my husband, after 46 years of being on this planet, has decided he wants to like football. He wants to watch football. He wants to pick a team. He doesn't have a team. So he has been watching a lot of football games lately so that he can try to figure out what team he wants to root for. And, that's fine and all. I don't like football. Football is not my thing. So Sunday night, the football game, it was, who was it? The Bears versus the Rams, I think. I think that was the game that he was watching. Was that it? He's been watching so many football games. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure those are teams and not baseball, because baseball I'm a little bit more comfortable with. But football, totally not my sport at all. Anyway, so he watched a football game on Sunday, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to work on this Tilton Crafts project because I really, really need to get done with 3865. So when I worked on that on Sunday, I put in a whole 3 hours and 25 minutes into it. So I worked on it. So that week, I did a total of 1,663 stitches. And it took my stitch count up to 19,240 out of 122,500 and put me at 15.71%. And then on Monday, the 19th of this week, I put in another hour and 6 minutes and I got 245 stitches into it, and that finished out 3865, giving me a total of 19,482 stitches of 3865. That was my stitch count for 3865. 19,482. But it's done. It's done. And then I got to put in 3 stitches of the next color, which is 7 something. 762. So I have 6,092 stitches left to do of 762 before I move on to the next color. So this is what my pattern keeper looks like for what I need to work on. All the purple is what I need to work on. So, but I'm so happy that I'm done with 3865. This 762 color is such a light silvery gray color, but it's at least a color, and it's really similar to the color gray that the grid is. So I'm hoping that I don't get confused since it's like so close. Anyway, that was project number 3. So project number 4, over here. This is my Stashbuster piece. This is stuff that I have been carrying around in my stash for forever, or something that I know that I started but never finished. In this case, it is one that I started but never finished. This is Candamar Designs. The artist is Christian Reese Lassen, and this is called the Silent Journey Picture. Now, I know that I got at least halfway before. I purchased this in the late 90s. The copyright on this is 1998, so that seems about fairly right. I probably bought it in either 98 or 99, like early 99. So that pretty much tracks. So I know that I had gotten halfway done, possibly into this 3rd quarter, because I'm a middle out stitcher, so I basically cut all of my patterns in quarters and then work on them that way. So anyway, I know that I was at least halfway and into this 3rd quarter, and I've lost it somewhere in a move. Haven't seen it in years, but I tracked down the kit, and that is what I've been working on. So I need to get different, better, more hoops. So here's my progress. I finished this 1st quarter, just been working in the 2nd quarter and just going left to right and coming down. So yeah, that is the 4 main projects that I have been working on for the month of January. And I have also been in the background during some downtime at work and whatnot, working on, let me pause for a minute and back that up. That is Williamsburg Blue Aida 14 count that the kit provided. I'm using the provided kit. I'm using the provided fabric. I put in, for the week of 112 through 118, I put in 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 4 seconds. Brought my total time to 43 hours, 24 minutes, and 52 seconds. Okay. Now I can fast forward and get back to where I was. During some downtime at work, some downtime at the house, just downtime in general, I have been working on recharting another lavender and lace in Floss Cross so that I can bring it into Pattern Keeper when the time is right. One of the 4 favorite designer projects that I've been working on is a lavender and lace that I had already recharted, and during that rechart I changed her dress. So I am not quite at the halfway mark on that lavender and lace, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And so I realized I needed to start recharting my next lavender and lace. A, so that I'm not marking on the pattern. B, so that it's a lot easier to select colors and, do all the work. And I don't know, it's just easier having electronic copies of the patterns. And I like using Pattern Keeper. I like picking a symbol and seeing all of where that symbol is. So anyway, I've been working on a rechart of a lavender and lace that I'm going to be working on next whenever I finish the current one that I'm working on. So this is, what is she called? This is called Queen Anne's Lace. And really, I'm just like this far into it. I'm not very far into it. This is where I'm at, where the sticky notes are. Started into her hair. That was it. I've noticed that there are a couple of colors that have since retired, and so I'm trying to take that into consideration while I'm recharting this. Another thing is, while her dress is absolutely beautiful, I am not a yellow person. I will not be stitching her dress in yellow. I haven't decided if I'm going to rechart the blue shawl thing that she's wearing or leave that alone, but I will definitely be changing the colors of her dress. And I've been looking at my color wheel, and there's a tertiary color scheme that I picked teal as like the primary color, so I think I might redo her dress in teal. And I wouldn't have to change the shawl much, but I would have to make it like a darker, different color blue. And then, so with the tertiary color scheme, it's teal, blue. Well, no, actually, no, it's more like a purple. It's the green that I wouldn't have to change. So teal and purple, like a bright purple to offset the teal, and then green are like the tertiary color scheme. And so there's already a lot of green in the background of this picture, so I don't feel like I need to make any changes to the greens. But changing her dress and the shawl to teal for the dress and purplish, like a almost like a fuchsia or magenta type of purple, like a berry magenta, berry fuchsia kind of purple is what I mean by purple. Not deep purples, not royal purples, but like bright in your face kind of purple is what I'm looking at. So I'm going to continue charting this as it is. And then whenever I get to the dress part, I'm either going to have to go to the craft store and look at the teal threads, the color yellows that it calls for, and start trying to figure out what colors it is that I need. But right now, that is where my brain is headed, is a teal dress with a sort of fuchsia purplish bright shawl, scarf, like whatever that is that's wrapped around her. And then changing the colors of the dress might mean that I'm actually going to have to change the colors of the beads. And so like it's becoming a whole thing in my head, but that's what's going on. So yes, I have been recharting the next lavender and lace that I want to work on. and hopefully I will be able to get this rechart finished before I finish the one that I'm stitching, so that everything is, you know, wrapped up all nice and neat. I wish there was an easier way to rechart. I'm not very fast at it, but I'm just going symbol by symbol, line by line, from the top down. So that is it. I will see everyone probably next week. And what is going on next week? Let me look at the calendar really quick. Okay, so yeah, next week, I should see everyone next week. There's not a whole lot going on next week. And in that, that will be the last update I'll be giving for these projects. So I'll sort of be wrapping that up in the next video and then showing you what I'll be switching to for February. So that is it. I will see everyone next week.